It is, man. We miss you, Dave.
91.
But oh man. I ain't even gonna talk about what happened in '91. Y'all watch Snowfall. Talking about changing of decades and changing of guards, man. Some people need to change up how they actually play in this series because we're now at game 6 and we got to talk about OKC or the Mavs. Like, who's going to actually close out this series? Who wants to win it? Do the youngins want to win it? Or do Kev want to come back in and drop some more analysis in the NBA chat? I don't know, man, but this has brought the best out of NBA Kev because you know Kev's not the NBA guy. But Joe, you heard the voice memos. Oh man, breaking down analytics and talking about regular season games and everything. So we're gonna break it down on here. Game of changes. You said it, Tony. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. So who you got winning? Do the Mavs close it out, or does this go to game 7?
Yo, so this has been
Yeah.
You talking to me. So actually, by the numbers, this has actually been a pretty close series. If you go and look at the numbers itself, the Mavericks are averaging 103.8 points. OKC is averaging 104. Not too much difference as far as pace between both teams, but where you have an issue at OKC is not taking advantage of is the turnovers percentage for the teams. Looks like Dallas is actually having more turnovers than OKC in the series, and they're not taking advantage of it. They got to come out of that whole trend of being a 3-1 series victory against them during the season and understand this is the playoffs. And a lot of the players on the team are playoff ready. So you got to figure out whether they're going to come in there and continue to do the same thing over again, like I said yesterday, or they're going to change. Will they come in there and get people like what Joe was talking about yesterday, get them involved in the game? We'll see. But they can't do the same thing they did last game. Do what they did last game, and they're going to be out there fishing. They're going to be out there, in Vegas making bets against other teams. Oh, that's right. They can't do that. Yeah, that's right. I forgot they can't do that, can they? But no, man, it's going to be a game. I predict that this is going to be a game of trends. And it's going to be who comes in there and gets and dominates at a certain point in time in the game is going to win the game. I think OKC may do it, but they're going to have to do it a lot better than what they have. They got 3 or 4 players averaging over 10 points in the series. It's like 6 or 7 for the Mavs. So it's spreading out pretty well. So that's what I think.
Yeah.
My man said best sports channel on the net. Somebody pay that man. No pun intended. But look though, this is gonna be 6 games. I got the Mavs in 6. I picked that beginning of the series. I said it might go 7. I think I picked 6 though, but I got the Mavericks winning. The Mavericks. I look at the last time they played on the road against OKC. Was it a road? They played the last time OKC won in Dallas, right? Because they going to Dallas. Dallas had that game, the whole game, and then late in the fourth quarter, OKC just went on the run, and the Mavericks couldn't get a rebound. They were 1 and done. SGA took over. Luka was crying the whole game. Luka wasn't really focused, So Luka was off. He had probably his worst game in the playoffs that game. He was like shooting. I don't think he only had 4 field goals the whole game. So I see this Mavericks team being a veteran team. Now Luka with the playoff experience he has. We all know Kyrie is a veteran also. They're going to come in here. They're going to come to Dallas and make sure they close it out. Kind of similar to how they did to the Clippers. I don't see the Mavericks letting the game slip out their hands to force a game 7 at home. They are at home. They got to finish business. And although SGA is outplaying Luka this series, right? But SGA's impact is not as big as Luka this series. Like when Luka is like Luka, I see the lobs he throwing, and I had to think about it. I'm like, yo, they throwing endless lobs. And I'm like, yo, J Kidd. I mean, look at that coach. Kyrie over here looking like J Kidd. Hardy coming to the game looking like J Kidd. They're just throwing lobs from full court, half court. My golly. So I got them winning, and like SGA's impact is not as big because when SGA is on, it's just him. Like he's like, even though he'll finish the game with like 7 assists, he'll finish the game like 9 rebounds, but the impact, you don't feel it. The impact like Luka's impact is like other guys are getting theirs because of Luka, where SGA is not like that. So But I do think SGA, like J-Mo said, shout out J-Mo, gotta take 30 shots minimum this game. All right, so I'm going with the Mavs. I'm going to get a close game to the end, and they're going to take off.
Man, that's exactly what it was. That was the game of the change right there. Was Luka stopped crying about the fouls? I don't know what Jason Kidd said to him after the game. He was like, "Look, man, you're not gonna get the calls. It is what it is. We don't have one set of officiating who's probably gonna call it one way, and then we have another set of officiating who's gonna call it this way. And if you don't get the call, just get back up, get back down on defense, and make a play." And when it comes to lobs, at the rate they throwing the ball up, you would think Chet not even out there. It's like Chet, all you gotta do is literally just put a hand up sometimes, and probably it'll at least deflect the pass. Nothing. They're just throwing it all up. But it's Luka's game. I mean, this is the series. I think Kyrie took a step back and he was just like, you know what? I took over the Clippers series. I'm gonna let you have this one. You definitely told him to stop being LeBron. But he stepped back and said, look, I know I can get my 30. And I know the offense can flow through me, but at the end of the day, this is your team. And I think that's something that Kyrie took from his time in Cleveland with LeBron and then his time in Boston, where he was just like, you know what? I know what I can do. Let the youngin do his thing. Because again, I can get my 30 anytime I want. And when it's flowing through Luka, you got Lively, the landlord. Shout out to J-Mo for pointing that out. I'm glad he's seen that. I thought I was gonna have to be the only one to defend my former Wizard. But hey, on a team like this, everything that he was doing in DC that we was just like, oh, that's nice. It actually fits for this team. They need a rim protector. They need somebody that's going to go up and make the crowd roaring dunks, and that's what he's been doing. For OKC, I think it's too late in this series for the youngins who's having their off games to try to bounce back. I think it's too late in this series. Well, it's not too late for them to do the screen and roll with Chet and figure something out, probably going into the next season. But the Mavs have the advantage at this point, and they're going back home. They know it's a closeout. They've been here before. Yeah, it's over for OKC. It was a good season. If y'all prove me wrong, youngins go do it in Game 7, but I think it's over.
Yeah.
But here's what I say. Here's what I say. I'll say that the Mavericks have to win tonight. They don't want to see OKC in a Game 7. You don't want to give them that encouragement that and have them play it like the team we know they can play like. Because they'll definitely do that in Game 7. They don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because all it takes is one trip of Luka and to get that injury again in Game 7. And that series is over with. Now, I agree with both of y'all. I do think the Mavericks will probably win tonight. I'm pulling for OKC because I really do want to see a Game 7. It's just a personal thing. I want to see a Game 7, but I don't know if they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they walked off the court in Game 5 made me wonder about them, whether they are even built for this. You know what I'm saying? Just their body language. I was like, oh man, I don't know. Now, I don't know what happened in practice and how everything going on with them in practice right now. But hopefully somebody came in and said, life doesn't end in Game 5. There's a Game 6. And they come out there and play like it.
Yeah, I don't think OKC going to lay down. They're going to show up. Mavs going to have to beat them. They're going to have to beat them tomorrow. Then they're going to show up. I think they're confident they can win. They got the most 20. They got the most was it 20 point comebacks?
Comebacks, yeah.
In the league this year, and one of them was against us. But they confident they could beat anybody. They're young team.
I think they had 20 and 10. I think they had them both for both of them.
And they feel like they got the best player in the series. They feel like SGA better than Luka, So, and like I said, everybody made a big deal about their 3-point shooting. Like Lou Dort has been shooting well this whole series. He's been shooting well this whole. Like they've been shooting well. That's going to happen. Like the Mavs didn't shoot well when they lost. Like that's just how it happened. Remember the Clippers series? Remember that, y'all? Like the Mavs and Clippers are up and down with shooting. So, but this has been a defensive series. I would say both defenses has been. I gotta get J Kidd his props, man. I've been hard on J Kidd with the whole Luka thing, like doing everything through Luka, but he got this defense being like elite. They are elite defense, man. So shout out to the Mavs closing the 6.
Man, that goes back to the GM too. It helped them out, remember? Because it was all Luka or bust. Because technically that's what the team was built around. It was Luka or bust, and then the GM said, "All right, let's go bring in some more pieces. Because remember, they traded away their defensive players to go get Kyrie. So they kind of added some people back, and they found some players that fit Luka's game. Kind of like, I know the comparison to James Harden is a lot, but that's more so because their playing styles are similar. It's real slow, and it's like you got to play to their pace. And when Kyrie came in, and you know how Kyrie play. He's like Rucker Park. Like it could be at the rim, or it could be like I'm gonna walk you down, and then I'm gonna hit the big game winning 3 over Steph, and look at Cleveland now. So it's just a perfect team for Luka. I ain't gonna say they the perfect team, but it's the perfect team for Luka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on 2 bigs, Lively and Gafford, light changer. Shout out to the Mavs for tanking last year.
Yeah, and before we start talking about the shows, I wanted to say this too, Sony. I tried to look at their roster, right, to see if they at least had one vet that's been through like a battle-tested vet that could come over and be like Andre Iguodala or somebody like that. This is just like Game 5 ain't it. We can still win this. And Gordon Hayward wouldn't be the guy to go tell them that. So it's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
Yeah. Sorry, Tomo.
Oh no, it's cool. I was just trying to figure out who gonna walk through that door.
I don't know what the word is. It's Friday, man. People ain't got no jobs. They definitely got nothing to do.
While we're doing that, we just gonna give you a little peel back of what's been happening since those NFL chats. I mean, in the NFL chat since the schedules has dropped, the Eagles are trying to take over the chat again. The Ravens are not allowing it.
Okay, enough of the Eagles. Let's move on.
I'm talking about the Ravens not allowing it.
Okay, the bird fight.
Yeah, and the